Hey everybody, it is Dungeon Master Mark. It is day 18 of the RPGA a Day 2016. The question of the day today is, what is your favorite game system? My favorite game system, myself personally, has got to be second edition Dungeons and Dragons. It's not one that I play anymore, sadly, but it was the first system that I started off with when I was in late middle school or early high school. And to this day, I still have most of my books. This is not my original book. I believe this was like the second one I bought. The first one I actually wore out to the point where the spine of the book just fell apart. I mean, I read that thing like it was the Bible, and we played the shit out of second edition. Absolutely loved it. I went to a little small school in Ohio um, called Bethel Tate High School, and we played second edition. We would play after school. Sometimes we would go to the park. There's this little park called Burke Park up in Bethel, where they have this stone, kind of really old fashioned, the century style, like farmhouse type, uh, like picnic area. And we would go there sometimes, and we would act like it was a castle, and they had, of course, the long wooden tables where you could have picnics. We'd sit there and sometimes play D&D after school. And I wait for my mom to pick us up. Other thing we would do, like I said, one of the kids who lived, I believe, about five houses down from my mom and dad. He was a little bit older than me, but him and some of his friends played. Sometimes we'd go play games at their house, and sometimes in my house. But yeah, those are my kind of fondest memories growing up. Was playing second edition. Now I do have, this was something I actually bought. I don't believe it was. It came out in 1990, and somewhere in middle school. I don't think this was brand new, like hot off the press when I first bought it. I think it had been out for about a year or so. But I remember going to Walden's bookstore and $20. So I remember I probably had to mow like two lawns or so to get the money for this. But I remember I went to the bookstore, and at the time we were playing in Forgotten Realms. And I remember I was so super freaking excited when I bought this book. I'm like, this is going to be, it's adventures. It's like the whole campaign world, right? I was so excited, and I get it, and I'm like, oh, it basically just tells about cities and a couple extra spells and some of the stuff about gods. A lot of the stuff I knew at the time, but I didn't appreciate it as much being a player. But I remember my one friend who was a GM read it, gave it back to me, and then we started using some of the information, and I got it then that there was a lot of interesting stuff that maybe just me as a player didn't really fully grasp at the time. But I remember buying that book set. I always jogged memories of mowing grasses when you're young and saving them to buy something. Like I said, now where I'm at gaming, we mostly play Pathfinder. Occasionally, I'll GM a game using fifth edition. A lot of people in my area only play Pathfinder. Fifth edition doesn't really have much of a following here. Pathfinder, though, is definitely the game of choice in my area. But I would love to run another game in second edition sometime. I've taught my son how to play. I haven't taught my daughter yet. I'm not sure how well she'll grasp the whole FACO since she's still fairly little. But I miss second edition. There's so many cool aspects of it that I really liked. The spell selection and the way you had different amounts of levels of spells for clerics versus wizards. And yeah, like I said, I know part of it's just because of all that, the backstory I just told you guys. I had a lot of experience with that. But yeah, I miss it. I liked it. And that was my favorite game system, guys. So stay tuned. We'll come at you guys tomorrow with day 19 and the next question in the RPG a Day 2016. And that's Dungeon Master Mark, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.